3 cards that total 20 push-ups. 20 push-ups and you're done.
Y'all still going?
Hey,
What's up?
I think she just about to start the class.
Oh, my bad. Well, all right.
Y'all go ahead and finish up. I'll log back on in about 10 minutes. Y'all go ahead and finish up. I'll log back on in a minute.
They just got to do 20 push-ups and we done.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. All right, let's get straight to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 0. Islam wars.
It works.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our God, and our salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet Noble Drew Ali. Shalom Alakim, Ayah Ash Ayah, Hotel, Islam, peace, 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 peace. See all y'all in a few seconds.
Sir.
I'll give everybody a second to log back in. I know we just got done working out. Because I don't want us to miss this study today. It's important. And even though we got our Quranic study lesson, I always like to give us some real life science first, and then we jump into the teachings. So I give us a 4-minute grace period. Get your pencils and papers, please. Because I'm going to talk about something today, and it's going to be very, very revealing. And I want us to respond when I ask these questions. Okay? That all right, Nobles?
Yep.
Okay. I'll give everybody a couple more seconds. And we finna get started. We about to get started in here. We'll give it a second. How everybody doing today, man?
Great.
Everybody doing good?
No, we're doing well.
Doing
well. No,
great.
Okay.
Doing great. That's
All right.
How the nobles? Everybody doing well?
Islam.
Yeah, we got to start now. Is Brian on? Not yet?
No, he not on yet.
Okay, because I hope that's why he go live on our Temple and School page unless somebody else can. If not, don't worry about it. Is anybody available to share it on our Temple and School page on Instagram at burningbushtabernacle.ts? I just want to share a couple minutes. We don't have to do the whole thing on our Temple and School page. I just want to share a little snippet, just a couple minutes. Islam Solomon, how you doing, Noble?
I'm doing well, Noble.
Gratitude. Let's do our Moorish American prayer, someone. Come on, somebody.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation. By night and by day, through his holy prophet, through Ali, Amen, Ashe, I, Shalom Alakim, Islamism, peace, 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 peace.
Peace, 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 peace.
Peace.
I want to send love to all my nobles. Solomon, you looking good in that fez. I'm glad to see nobles wearing the fez in real life. I want to give gratitude for my nobles, building the confidence and the understanding, not only to wear your turban, and wear your fez because you're not Negro, Black, and colored. And when we talk about nonverbal communication, if someone asks you, how do you identify a Moor without opening your mouth, and you don't have your fez on, and your fez is a part of being Moorish, and your fez is nonverbal communication, what we like to call signs and symbols. Islam?
Islam.
I want to say that, number one.
Islam.
Number two, I want to give much, much, much gratitude for my noble Lamarck Bey, taking the time to, spend time with not only me, but with his family and showing things. And this is what I be talking about when I say more science for the family. I tell nobles this all day. I put myself in this situation. I have no business going out telling people, especially men in the streets, about more science. And I ain't talking to my wife with the same passion, with the same love. How Negroes or Moors be out trying to convince somebody about something, and you can't even do that in your household. Like, to me, that's an oxymoron. So,
Islam.
number two, I tell Moors, you can't put no expectation on your empress for something that you don't do. I'll give you a prime example. And I'm not talking about anybody else. All I can do is give you all real life examples because I'm real. I deal with a whole bunch of Moors. The problem with a lot of nobles when they come into the science, they be so excited, they want to just beat their wife down with it. And then your wife, like, you want me to wear the turban or the fez, and you don't even wear it. Like, I don't even see you wearing the fez, but you don't need to wear the turban. And you don't go to class, you don't study. So why would you put that on your empress? And they live with you. They see what you're doing every day. They see you leave out the house without your fez. They see it. It's on the mantle. You never wear it like it's some trophy. And you forget. That's not Moorish. And I ain't saying you're not a Moor, because you're a Moor by birth. Let's make that a fact. You are Moor by birth. Don't let nobody ever tell you that. But when you say you Moorish and you follow the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, of a way we self-identify is by wearing our Moorish fez. Period. It ain't no other way to explain it. How can you self-identify as a Moor and you don't have your fez? How? Explain that to me. If the trumpet sound today, and they say all Moors come right now and self-identify, and you're like, damn, what they saying self-identify, and you come and you say I'm a Moor, they gonna say no, you ain't. You look just like that dude next to you that said he's Negro, Black, and color. You don't look different. You're not peculiar. And then I can jump in the Bible. Well, I tell all religious people, I said, the followers of Yahshua wore the turban and the fez. You're not opening this stuff up and showing your people and your family when they think we doing something. With this Islamism, God and man is one. What the high sages, what the Bible talk about. We're not against nothing. The followers of Yahshua wore the turban with the jewel on it, just like mine. They wore the bonnet, aka the kufi. They wore the tunic like I wear, silk or cotton. They wore the girdle or the sash. When you get your Hebrew lexicon, you'll understand what I'm saying. That's number uno. Number two. So if I'm wearing a fez and I have an empress, and I'm a member of the Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, and I'm trying to talk to my wife about the fez because I just started wearing the fez. Why would I try to explain that instead of bringing my empress to the guide and map? And we'll use GPS and everywhere to get there. And you have a guide and map. You say I'm your sheik. You say I'm your magi. You say I'm the tribe leader. So if that's the fact, and before a person met me, they wasn't wearing the fez. They wasn't wearing the turban. Why do you think you can go and promulgate that to your wife and beat her ass with that? Somebody explain that to me. The floor is open.
You can't do that.
The floor is open.
Do that. Islam.
Number two,
and never be able to do that.
But this, and I open the floor, and when more, and it's like when nobles come in, because see, I listen to what my nobles say. I have to, because I'm no good without y'all. A leader must lead. That's why I have to take information and come up with solutions. If I was defending you in the court of law, you would want me to be matter-factual. So why don't you want me to be matter-factual in the science? That don't even make sense. So when nobles come into the science and they wear the fez and they try to talk about the fez and like, man, well, I wear the fez, but I don't know that much. I wish it was a class or something, an introduction to the fez, because this is what people say. And y'all got my book, The Esoteric Science of the Fez. So how the hell you talk about we don't know nothing about the fez and you got my book, the teacher manual, and you can give it to your empress and let her read it, let her touch it, let her smell it, and let her ask the questions that you probably ain't gonna know. and we can talk about it then. But it ain't just you say a man don't know by somebody telling him the man know by what he sees, what he studies, and what he touch. And you ain't gonna do the same thing with your empress. And you got the manual. You got my book, The Esoteric Science of the Feds. Have we gave it to our empresses and let them read it?
Islam.
I'm just asking the question. I just no slander, because in there, if my empress didn't know nothing about the Feds and she see me wearing it one, I'm not gonna put no pressure on her to wear it because she represent me. It's gonna be a confidence builder because I'm speaking heaven to her every day. So it's not a forceful thing. She represents me. It's going to be easy. But what I'm telling all of us, even when we Moors and get girls that we trying to come into our world, are we introducing them to us, or are we stripping ourselves down? Are we meeting them with our fizzes on, or are we popping that shit on after a sudden and it's like boom? Because it don't pop nothing up on me. This ain't who you are when I met you. This is what I'm saying.
To speak for myself, I can say I definitely was meeting mine with my turban on, because at the time I had hair, so I wasn't necessarily able to wear my fez. But say I don't necessarily give her the books. I would love to, but when I study and I read aloud, I'm always reading to her. You know what I'm saying? So
hey, check this, Noble. Remember, listen to what I said. Because you ain't nothing you doing wrong. It ain't about the fez of the turban. It's you. You represent is the fez of the turban. Without the fez of the turban on, what I'm saying, you speak science. Your whole life is science. When you be resurrected. So what I'm saying, I'm not projecting this to you. I said, if I'm married or have a woman and I'm talking about the fez and I want her to wear the fez and she asking questions about the fez and this, not and the other, and I'm jumping all around. What I'm saying is, why don't you share the teacher's manual, the book that your sheik, I'm supposed to be your sheik that gathered, divine, and prepared, and it talks about the fez eloquently. Even the white fez that with the gold tassel that our empresses wear, and it shows you how the Daughters of America Revolution took that. It shows you that they the Eastern Star. It shows you why our tassel is not pinned down. All this stuff. It shows you why it flows freely. It shows our fez why it ain't defiled. All those simple questions your empress can see because she's heard of the Eastern Stars. Your empress seen that white fez with the gold tassel because a lot of their mamas and stuff was in the day that ain't told them. So if that's the case, some nobles that's having that issue, I'm asking why haven't we gave that book and went over it with our empress?
Can I jump on the floor real quick, Noble?
Absolutely.
I'd like to bring this in because in my situation, I know some brothers on the line as well. In our situation, the books are available. I read more hourly in a day than the majority of the population in the United States. You know what I'm saying? The books are here. You know, she always sees me reading. That's all I do is read. She always sees me building. She always sees me studying. But at what point in time, you know, and obviously Islam to your empress who has opened up and taken this knowledge and jumped into it headlong with you. But for those of us who still are married to or in unison with people who are considered NBCs, you can't just give them a book. So
exactly.
It sounds easy to speak here.
Hey, Noble,
why don't you just speak to your empress? I do walk around with affairs.
Hey, Noble, you proving my point, Noble.
Speak highly, you know what I'm saying? But
I agree.
Don't pick up the book.
I agree. You proving my point. That's what I said. You can't just give them. I agree 100%. That's why I tell nobles in school when we have debate, when I lecture, I say, listen, what I'm saying, I said, it's not, when I speak, I speak in general to throw it out there. Like, it ain't heavy. It's for anybody going through that situation. But you made the point is what I'm saying. I just won't give them a book and say, this the book. Like, I will go over it. Like I'm saying, a guide. Like I say, a guide. Like I said, a guide dearly. If I'm showing you how to play basketball, I'm not just going to give you to say, this how you go to the left and do a left hand layup. I'm going to guide you. I'm going to take you. I'm going to get you the steps before we even get the ball. I'm going to make sure you gather your feet. So your feet is your base. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach this to you. I'm not just going to give you something. So that's all I'm saying. I'm going to take the time every day, the next day. If I'm studying and reading every day, which a lot of more say that they read more than the average person because Noble, this is my life. Not only that, I get to go to the college campus and speak this to people that don't look like me, alumni, and make a great amount of money. So I do this all day, every day, all cross-reference, law, history, everything. And so I'm not being personal with Moors. That is not what I'm saying. And I'm not having a pissing contest with nobles because it ain't like I always tell nobles, I don't care how smart a person thinks they are. All I care about is the heart being pure. And if we intelligent, I share. So I'm saying I'm trying to bridge a gap. That's because I'm not here to destroy. I'm here to fulfill. I'm saying if I'm in a union with my empress, no matter if I'm a sheik, no matter if I'm a Church of God in Christ, no matter if I'm a Christian preacher, my empress is going to be into what I'm into. Why? Because she know this is real because I'm doing it every day. She see me doing it and I'm doing it with her. I'm speaking to her life. How much life? Every day. So it's not forceful. So my empress know the basics and she understand who I am. She's not fighting against the grain. Why? Because every single day, if I'm studying and reading every day, no disrespect to no one. A lot of men will go in their chamber in the house and close the door. I tell people, when you close the door, that means don't enter nonverbal. I tell nobles, I say, anytime you go in a room, that's a sign and symbol. Before you had language, you had signs and symbols. So if the door closed, am I studying? I'm not going to just walk in. A lot of times they go knock, or they're going to say, oh, he's studying. He don't want to be bothered. So I don't study like that. I study in the room. I study with my mom and them and everywhere. And as I'm building, I bring them in and we ask dialogue. I give dialogue. That's what I'm saying. Like we hear now, dialogue. So I'm asking for solutions. So say if you weren't going through that issue and you were a counselor and you were an advisor, what would be the solution? Not personal.
That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'd like to get towards. Is what is the solution?
Thank you. Great.
My empress is not your empress.
Yeah.
And I don't have a closed door at my house. You know what I'm saying?
Gratitude.
A lot of things that you're saying that don't represent me and my struggle here at my house with my empress, and I want to get to
gratitude.
What are some things that I can do, actively in my household, so that it's not me shoving it down her throat, but it's me sitting down and having a conversation with her.
See.
And at the same time, if you have a conversation. If you're breaching the same conversation every day with somebody, whether it's in love or not, it's still shoving it down their throat.
See, Noble?
So, I'm trying to, I'm working my balance, and trying to figure out how to deliver a message to somebody who doesn't, like you're talking about basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Normally you would be teaching a person who already wants to play the sport of basketball.
Come on, Noble. Keep going.
How to shoot a basketball.
Keep going.
With his feet, not with his hands.
Keep going.
So that's kind of where we're at right now in some of our households.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing with my hands. They playing with their feet.
Mm-hmm.
And we trying to sit down and have a conversation about how to play the game. So,
yes, gratitude. I love it. And see, Noble, that's why when I tell people when men can come and do this as Moors and don't be all with this and don't take nothing personal, I said it's a solution because everything, I'm coming from love. No matter if you like it or not, I'm coming from love. That's why I said the first thing we have to do when we conversate and healing is make sure we own our higher self. And what Noble just said, yes, his wife is not my wife. He said, well, what's the solution? And that's what I'm saying. We're here for solutions because a lot of people go through this. A lot of my nobles will go through this and never say nothing, Jared. I'll be around Moors and never say nothing until they try to get me one-on-one in the side. And I say, well, you can't talk to me on the side because what you might be going through can help another brother. That's a part of being Moorish. This is a brotherhood. So if a person's not willing to do that and willing to be open and willing to do that, how are you going to fix it? So gratitude, Jared, for saying that. Gratitude. So now, for me, let's talk about solutions. I didn't meet my wife in a science. I've been through all chambers of science. My background is IDMR, Institute of Divine Metaphysical Research. I have 2 college degrees, So with me, for me, it was easy because I don't talk really to my wife more science per se. Because more science is everything in life. More science is God and man in one. So I can use the things that they know to teach the things that they may not know. And if I can't do it, I say, babe, what do you know? Any questions? I say, well, come sit down. So for me, I was able to teach that. My empress was able to see that, and she was willing. Now I go back to what Jared said. In order to learn basketball, you have to have at least an interest. My wife was willing. Because anything I do, she said she's willing to be a part of me. Why? Because she said, it's me. She said she sees the God in me and she understands what I'm doing. She said it ain't 50-50, it's 100-100. So this is the thing that we talked about. My empress feel the same way sometimes about how other nobles empress might feel. But I had to show my wife as I'm studying, as I'm reading. She read a little bit with my mom and sister and them, and she take notes. So with me, it's just be a conversation, y'all. That's for me. It's be a conversation, and I involve my empress in everything I do. Working out, when I'm doing a lot of my odd jobs, I invite her so I'm able to speak in those regular times when it's not a class time or this time. We'll be talking this when we riding our bikes. We'll be doing this. We'll be going for a walk. We might be watching a TV show, and I'll be like, "Babe, you see the science?" Like for instance, we was watching that show with Forrest Whitaker. Is it no, not Forrest Whitaker. I forget. Yeah, it is Forrest Whitaker. When he was playing the King of Harlem or the King of New York, or what was it called, y'all?
Harlem.
Yeah, and when you see Malcolm X, yeah, and when you see Malcolm them going into the mosque, if you looking, it got a Masonic, it got the compass and square in there. As soon as it came out, Empress was like, look, babe, they got the compass and the square. She was like, a lot of people think it is don't know the compass and the squares are, boom, 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 identifying with things. So it'd be regular. And Barclay was out here in Arizona, so Barclay got a chance to see how I live. When I tell people, I don't just beat my wife down with the science. I'm a regular person. And when they see you living the science, it's easy. I ain't never sat down and talked to my wife to wear no fez. Never. I ain't never had no conversation with my wife to wear the fez like me. Never. Not once.
Well, let me just speak on, and I'm just going to be honest, because I've been searching in the history portion before, I even came into the Moorish science. So my search has been through the history portion, and then it came into Moorish science via the history portion. Then I got introduced to the science through history and law as well, banking. But I had always been wanting to learn throughout, even when I met my wife, before I met my wife, but it didn't per se was Moorish science or looked at as a religion. I did go to church. She went to church because I went to church. Then when I stopped going to church, she stopped going to church. And I explained to her why, The other portion is being here sometimes, and no disrespect. When you talk very firm.
Absolutely.
Right? In the things that you say.
Absolutely.
Now, I don't hide in no closet or none of that. And I'm saying from my Empress's perspective on some things, when she's hearing certain things that are maybe talked about, it maybe rub her a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
And so
as it should.
That keeps her away, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But I did give her the Moorish Woman's Guide to read. Mm-hmm. That could be heavy for somebody to read, for the simple fact of the matter is that they're comparing that to a Muslim, a black Muslim, a nation of Islam.
But now, can I stop you right there? Now, this is the teaching part. But you're not Nation of Islam, like that. And that's why I say when we have to get when people come with religious and history and law, and like I say when I explain things, nobles, if I was, and this is why I speak like this. When I deal with other nationalities, this is the first thing they say: please be firm and matter factual. And when you're dealing with law, you want to know all the law. You want a person to be matter factual. You want a person to be firm. If you was in trouble and you had to be defended, wouldn't you want that person to be firm and honest with you?
Absolutely.
So that's when I say as adults, we cannot take things personally and feel a certain type of way when the words is expressed in a way that we might not personally agree with. And so as
it's also a process.
I get that. Look, no, but I get.
Speaking for me,
I get that
when I say that, and I see it with my Empress. That is a process.
Absolutely.
And sometimes when you've been fed something for so long, I would just say the first emotion is anger. I'm just being flat out.
And
my first emotion was anger.
Thank you. And see, I love it when my nobles be honest because
and
that's the thank you.
Over the head with the info.
Thank you.
You don't see this? Oh my God, this is what I've been waiting for.
Thank you.
And so I can understand her process. I have to be patient with her.
Thank you, noble.
I am patient with her process.
Thank you.
Whatever little bit she's willing to come forward.
Thank you.
I have to be patient.
Thank you. See, so that's the solution. And see, it ain't nothing. You just said it. What? It ain't about her. It's about you. It ain't about us trying to convert our wives. That's why I say y'all got the answers. Be you. It ain't, babe, you got to do this. It ain't that. Just be love, be peace, be the same person you are, but say, babe, you know, I wear the fez to self-identify. I'm not a Muslim. I'm not this. The Moore's Quran is the 18 mysteries. You can say, look, what did this Quran say? The life and teachings of Jesus here, Jesus here, Jesus there, Jesus there. What is the more? We from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. We don't diss Tamir and Ruth the Moabites. We don't diss the Nazarite. All that stuff, it's, you know, we say we don't diss. So it's just explaining the fez and the turban just represent who I am. I don't diss the Bible, and our Quran is compiled of the Bible. That's why I said a lot of our people has been miseducated. That's why I asked a lot of us read other books that's not religious. Read what Carter G. Woodson said in The Miseducation of the Negro. Then read The Education of the Negro. I just sent it to Barclay again because we was talking about the miseducation of the Negro while we were sitting eating, and then I gave him The Education of the Negro. And we were sitting there eating, and Barclay can attest to this. We just be regular dudes. Barclay came out here in Arizona, was staying in Sedona, where it ain't no melanated people, just being a regular dude. His wife just seen him be a regular dude. That's all I'm saying. And we there. As soon as we take a picture, the people, the European Albions come right up to me. Oh, I know you. We see you all the time. Boom, 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 boom. And I'm speaking the same way as I speak to y'all. And she like, you 100% right. Oh, I would love to be teach. Just like, yes, you 100% right. With no disrespect. When I tell all Moors, no disrespect, at NBCs, they be so personal. But when I'm on a college, when I'm dealing with a different nationality, they be like, well, you my teacher. And that's the scripture says a prophet is no good in his own country. And it don't be no disrespect. I'll be like, I have to be matter factual because I want us to understand and see all the time that it took for us to think this, all the time it's going to take for us to willingly say, okay, I understand that. I don't have to change nothing. I'm building. Just like if you know mathematics and you start learning the multiplication, you're not going to diss mathematics because you learn multiplication. I would hope not. And I wouldn't diss it if a person's saying matter factual. Like if you came to me, Noble Malik, and said, Kari, there's no way to get to Friday without going to Thursday. Well, I don't care. Well, I know somebody that can do this. I say, well, that's fine. But why would you want to do that? You know, so it ain't about us converting no one. This is about you. It ain't about like, and that's my solution. That's my conclusion, my synopsis. It ain't about that. If my empress want to know, well, are you Muslim? No, but no. What that feds me? I see Muslim with a turban. I should be able to adequately explain it. What? Oh, this no, I don't the Bible because I'm from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. This just representing my station. That's all. And
so
if we
reason why I said that, no, was because all of us, you know, majority of us have empresses on here or somebody we're courting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and sometimes when you're direct, there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. I'm just saying how it could be perceived in, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different ways. And it depends on the level of understanding that somebody has.
Oh, thank you. And I under gratitude, Noble.
Have a level of understanding.
Yes.
And it can strike in 8 different ways.
Yes.
Depending on what information has been received from each person's empress.
I agree. I agree. That's why I agree. That's why when I show stuff, like when I counsel people, I agree. I've counseled Misnomer Black. When I was a counselor at the Youth Development Institution, I agree. That's why I'm saying I agree 100% what y'all saying. I have to, because I analyzed this when I was counseling marriages, when I was counseling kids, and then I was counseling religion when different backgrounds. Because y'all know I have a master's degree in Christian leadership. So I agree with what you're saying, Noble. With no disrespect, I agree with what you're saying. But from my years of counseling and being direct, I understand what you're saying. I'm saying, how can we bridge that misunderstanding on an intellectual level? That means we got to get there because everything I'm saying is facts. No, like I said, no matter how a person take it.
There's some things you said in teachings, you know, healing first and foremost, you know, because we've been deeply scarred.
Yes.
Miseducated, as you said, with the Negro.
Yes.
And misidentified, misunderstood, not educated, and then we suffer from a lack of knowledge. So those things play a part in all of our empresses process, whether it be from yours all the way down to whoever just got a new empress. You know what I mean? So it falls in all them different spectrums and different levels. And it could be scary for some. I'm just being honest.
Gratitude.
It could be scary.
Gratitude, Noble. Yeah. And see, when we talk like this, man, because change is debilitating. Change is scary. That's what I like. It is okay to be afraid. Man, Noble, y'all, I'm in Arizona. I'm from Flint, Michigan. You gotta have some type of, okay, let me see how you're gonna be. That's normal. And so in order for that, are we gonna talk about it and be okay to talk about it without being mad? Are we gonna be able to get up? Because most misnomer Negro, blacks, and colored, they don't get on the couch. They'll just bury that shit. And then every time with someone they don't agree with, because we read the science, we spill that out. That's a lot of times when I counsel people and then we get to the root, it's like a lot of time we got old stuff that happened to us as a kid. And every time something we don't like, whatever, we lash out because we didn't face our accuser. Or we have old trauma. And a lot of times it's be trigger points. When this happened, boom, it's a trigger. Boom, it's a trigger. You shut down. It's trigger points. And it's all form of abuse. Nonverbal, physical, no attention. So it's all forms of abuse when we start thinking about that. And so the first thing that I say, think back and have we been abusive in any form where a person will reject some of the things that I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's why I say I'm here to heal. I'm not the final say of nothing. You are. That's how
To all the nobles on here from my experience, or my empress. My empress had something that I had, kind of pointed out years ago that I said, I think it's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't come to fruition until she came out and kind of, admitted to, that possibly could be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And it took time, and I'm just speaking because I don't want anybody on here to feel like they have to be rushed for their empress to catch up to them.
Thank you.
Next year.
Thank you.
It takes time.
Thank you.
We're interested, and that's why we're here. They might not be so interested,
mm-hmm.
but the facts are the facts. You can't change the facts. Truth is truth. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And that takes time.
Yes, sir.
Done a disservice. It's just going to take time.
Yep.
And sometimes I feel like we don't have a lot of time. That's the rush.
What you say, Noble? Jared?
We have no time.
See, and that be the thing. And then I have time for what I love. And that's me. I do. Especially if I make my own schedule. I make time for my empress. Like in our teachings, you're supposed to have at least a day, your empress day, to just let her be whatever she want to do. Like I make sure I do that. I still court my wife. I still court my wife. I must. But all I was saying, you see how one question channeled a whole, like this, the circle in business, and you got all this byproducts off of it. That's what I want, dialogue. Because I didn't come in no way saying you should do this. I asked a question, right? I said, if I wanted my wife to wear the fez, and she was like, well, babe, I'm not sure. I don't know nothing about the fez. And I would like to know. And I wear the fez, and I never talked to her about the fez and why I wear the fez if I just came home and put the fez on my head and I never wore the fez. And all of a sudden, I'm prancing around with the fez on. Well, all I'm saying is, for me, I sat down and explained my wife what the fez was, why I'm wearing it. I believe I respect her that much to explain what this fez means so she won't think I'm no Mason or no Al-Islam Muslim. So if anybody asks my empress, she can explain it, how can I say, the elementary wisdom, and then introduce them to me, because I think that was my station and my position to tell my wife. You know what I mean? If somebody empress asks about, well, babe, I want to wear the fez, but I would like to know something. I ain't say nothing to force nobody. And that's why I like dialogue. Because if you go back, I just asked a question because a question was asked to me. And I'm like, I said, that do make sense. And I said, but I have a manual. And I said, well, if anybody empress have that question, have you went over the history of the fez and the science of the fez with your empress if they ever had any questions about what you have on your head? That's all I said.
Yeah, some people are scared to have that dialogue, though.
That's why I love you, Malik. Malik, man, right here. That's all I be throwing the ball back to be like, I ain't said nothing wrong. When the person started thinking, they be like, no, he didn't. I just asked a question. And you're right, Malik. A lot of people. So here it is to say, if I was an empress and my noble come home, boom, all of a sudden he been around the creek, boom, he got a fez on, and he ain't gonna say nothing to me. When we go places, people looking at him, they looking at, I can't ask you what you got on your head. Or you can't explain to me what you got on when you got that turban on? Because I see Muslims with a turban on, babe. What you don't believe in the Bible and all this? Because I believe in the science and the essence. So when I'm wearing things, how can I synchronize it with what she know? That's all. That's the only question I ask. Because I'm not gonna put a fez on and don't explain that to my empress, for she can understand who I am. So when she out in her world, people can say, "Damn, what Korea a Mason or a Muslim now?" Or he became a Moor, which she at the people like he can't become a Moor. He a Moor by birth. That his fez, as my wife say, is Moorish. Is how he self-identified. Is his national headdress, and that's what my wife will say because she understand it. My wife got a white fez with a gold tassel. She don't wear it all the time.
For a second.
Yes, sir.
I mean, everybody knows that I took the family. We went a nice little retreat to get away, and I'd say there's a couple of things. I've made a much more conservative effort more recently to wear my fez, and I can say in my household that has had an impact with me doing that, mainly because. In part, it is a self-identifying thing, and I get a lot more interactions with people. So she gets to see me interacting with people. People don't interact as much when I have the she-mag on as opposed to when I have the fez on. It's just, they may look, but when you have the fez on, they actually come and talk to you. So she's been able to see people engage me in a lot of sense, and see how I handle those interactions, see how people, handle who we are. And I think that absolutely has had an impact on her, just seeing that it's not something weird or different. But I think what helps is, as Sheik has always said, I'm around people who, one, have some sense of what it is, meaning Europeans, and are okay with the dialogue. Our people are not, unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're around our people, you won't get those type of interactions because people rather just look or just act like they don't see it.
Thank you.
As opposed to Europeans that actually have the dialogue.
They do something stupid.
Right. And so I think being able to be just more consistent and to be honest with yourself about how, really what you're doing, and being consistent about what you're doing so she can see it every single day. And then for me, I've made a conservative effort to get my empress around Moorish people more often. I think that's something that, we don't think about as much. There's a whole bunch of NBCs we're all around, but are you making conservative efforts to get them around Moorish people?
Come on, Noble.
People who understand that we are Moors so that they can interact. And for me, in the last 30 days or so, we've had the meet and greet, out there in Vegas. We also had an opportunity here locally with myself, Jared, another Moor was able to kind of get together, recently and just kind of hang out and break bread. And then I had the trip that I just went back out to Arizona. So in 30-day period, I've made 3 separate conservative efforts to get her in Moorish environments around people who understand we are Moors. And that has had a major impact because it's helping her see that we just regular people, that there's nothing different or magical, about it other than just who we are every day. And it's also putting her at ease to understand that, she's not the only one. And for some women, and I can only speak for mine, they don't want to feel like they're the only one. They don't want to feel like they're the only one doing something, experiencing something. So me getting out there to have her spend some time with Sheik's mom, to see Sean at the meet and greet, these things have been helpful for my empress because she's able to be around women who could just speak life and just be an example of just how to be every day without any magical thoughts about, it means you got to do this or you got to dress like this or you got to look like that. No, they're wearing regular clothes every single day. And so I would say for everyone, Sheik talks all the time is find your formula. You got to find your equation, your mathematical equation to your household. And it may mean something different. Maybe it means taking time out. Maybe it means going out and just don't even talk about the signs. Just go out. Just go out and hang out. Maybe it does mean, y'all reading and then maybe she drive and then you read, in the car while y'all ride instead of you always be the one to drive. See if she's willing to drive. And then find some different kind of way to keep doing what it is you're doing every day, but not from a standpoint of, hey, I'm trying to get you into something. Just from a standpoint of, this is what I love to do, and define that. Define what that love looks like. Does that love look like her up under you every single day at the moment, or does that love look like her supporting you in certain ways? I mean, you got to have those conversations, and I think that's what we don't have those. And so if it's not clear to a woman, she's left to her own thoughts, and she's gonna add a whole bunch of stuff in there. And so I would just say, have that dialogue. You know, what does her being next to you mean? What does that look like for you? What does that really, I mean, how does that support? But what are you going to be doing for you? I mean, because if your whole focus is on just where she needs to improve, that becomes a very, very difficult thing for her to accept, because she's saying, well, how come the conversation is all about me and really ain't about you? You know, and that's where I think we lose them in forgetting the fact that this is about us. It's not about them. It's about us finding a space to be whoever we're trying to be, so that they can figure out how to rock with that. Because if they still here, they probably still love you. They probably still want to be with you, but they don't understand how to be with you. You know what I mean? Because they just don't understand. And we've got to take more time, not be frustrated, but just take more time to help figure out and solve that riddle for them by fixing us. So, Islam.
And Noble Barclay, that's gratitude, Lamar. That's and see, when Noble's speaking from the holy breath, he's speaking from straight love. It's about us. And like I said, when you start figuring out, you start having peace, your whole thought process change. You remove the lower self. And that's why I said it's about us. The thought process have to change. If you love, you the son, you don't got to tell nobody I'm gonna burn you, or it can be used for good. And so that's when I say when we start speaking life. Noble been around here with me and my family, my mom, my dad, my empress, my sister. We go places. Everybody come up to us. The other nationalities come right up to Noble. I see now. I know that's the feds. And she said she seen my turban too, but on other people in the Shriner Hospital. Then she Barclay. He on mute.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. And I'll tell you another thing, and I'll tell you this for other nobles. And I know this ain't for everybody, but for her to be able to see Sheik and her and his family, you know, in a non-Zoom setting, not at a conference, just in real life, that spoke to her. She said on multiple occasions, like, you know, being able to see him, you know, as just a regular person was big. Because my empress said it, like her mom, she was a single mom, and so her mom played both roles. And so for her mom, she spoke a lot like how Sheik speaks. And so his words become a trigger for her. You know what I mean? The way that the stuff comes out is a trigger. And it kind of shuts her down. And so, you know, again, I wasn't helping because I'm over here adding on to the fuel. I'm thinking like, well, you ain't listening and you got to get in there. And so I wasn't helping, but I had to learn how to back up, to relax and just find a way to just connect with her. And when I started focusing on ways to connect with her, she's finally, you know, slowly but surely, she told me she didn't want to leave Arizona. And this is from a person who ain't never been there. She was like, man, and then when we got back, she was like, we got to create that energy we had out there. We got to keep that going here. So gratitude, you know what I mean? Because she, you know what I mean?
Gratitude, man, for you being a living example and a testimony. When I tell everybody, I say, I'm a regular dude. Like, I'm in Arizona. It ain't that many people that look like me out here. So you know I got to be right. And I do business as a more all the time. I got to be 100% right to do business with other people that don't even freaking look like me. And they accept me more than my own people. And they call me a god. I ain't the god. But hell, a prophet is no good in his own country. I tutor their kids. Angelo Solomon, the first Moorish Mason. It ain't nobody that look out. Most things I do training, you would see, but like, damn, I don't see nobody that look like she, because ain't nobody that look like me out here. Too much. So I got to be right. And everything I do it as a Moor from love. So I just wanted to make that statement, man. And I'm glad Barclay was able to testify. We put the ball back in our court and say it's on us. It's on us. It's us. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's no force to do this. It's us. It's being regular, letting them see you in a regular life, being a pleasant guy, being respectable. Because you did change. You did change from the person that they first married. You did change. That is a fact. And we all can agree, for most adults, change is debilitating. If your empress, or if I'm used to doing something for so long and then boom, you change. Come on, man.
No, you didn't change. Men don't change, we grow.
Well, you know what I'm saying, but right, though, Noble?
Yeah.
So all I'm saying, man, I'm not here to
just too. No, cut it out. We changed too.
Yeah. So I just want to give gratitude for that open roundtable, because that's why I said in real life, sometimes we might have to run an audible because we're here to heal. It ain't always just about reading a book and doing all that. And if we ain't going to be kind and gentle at home. So I give gratitude to all y'all nobles for being transparent and asking me questions and not only letting me speak, you guys speak from the heart, because I'm not the final say so in your household. You are. I'm just a map and a guide, because I know we've been miseducated. Man, my dad is here. My mom is here. My dad to come down and speak. He's probably my dad is an elder. I think my dad like 75, if I'm not mistaken. And he'll sit in here and tell you, my dad is highly educated, been a boss all his life, and say how we've been miseducated and how he accepts the science and understand it. And it's no forceful nothing. My dad understand that we are Moors. Now, it ain't no nothing else. My dad have the fez. I don't put my pressure on my dad, say, Dad, you better go out house every day and wear a fez. My dad know he a Moor, but in the proper setting, when he going, if we doing things and you in the brotherhood and you going somewhere and you around the Moors or you doing business, my dad wear the fez. He ain't gonna go jogging or walking down the street with it because he like, you know what I mean? That's it. Don't mean he don't have to do that. But for me, that's how I self-identify. And for you, if that's not how you self-identify, please understand it's okay. And when you build that confidence up, please have that conversation. You don't have to try to be me, or I'm not trying to tell you to be me. I'm trying to tell you be the best Muslim that you can be. That's what I'm telling us. So gratitude for that opening up, because we've been going for 40 minutes. Can
I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
Y'all get outside of y'all environments, man. If y'all get a chance, take a trip with your empress. Get outside of wherever you guys are. I mean, I know it ain't
come see me.
We all got financial things. I get it. I'm not trying to. I get it. But find a way. I don't care how you do it. If you can find a way, break that monotony of that everyday life. Y'all getting up every day, and I would tell y'all to go to Arizona. That's what I would say. I think it's a beautiful place to visit.
Yes, I would hope so.
Like, get away. Go do something. You might be able to spark some of that conversation that you want to have, maybe somewhere else outside of the regular everyday places you guys are every time. And I'm not saying it's easy, but just plan it. I get it. But if you can find a way, man, break that monotony. Take a trip, and then y'all can have that time to really just dialogue. You know what I mean? So Islam.
Gratitude, man. I love this, man. I love that's the other science about the fez. The fez represents our empresses. We talk about the 9 to the 9th power of Mayat. And if you speaking sweet poetry to your empress, honey, this fez represents you. Let me break it down and show you eloquently. I ain't reading to you. Let me speak some poetry. Hey, it's a poetry about the fez. What? Bam, bam, bam. The white fez represent the birth cycle. Yeah, babe. Yeah, it represent 9 to 9. Oh, it do. Boom, 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 boom. Wow. I just taught you about the fez, talking about you. That's all. So gratitude. It's for you to be able to speak life. It's for you to be able to speak those sweet words. When it come off like a scimitar, what I'm saying, my words to my empress don't come out like a scimitar. When I'm teaching, it has to come out like that because I'm in that teaching moment. I'm trying to be matter-factual. But if any empress asks my wife, that's why I be telling people, talk empresses, have a conversation with my empress. I'm y'all brother. My empress is y'all sister. My empress will tell you like, no. That boy be at home, be out here mopping the floor, cleaning up everything, doing no. Like she no. He makes sure we good. Yeah, he a protector. Yes, he's a silverback, but he a teddy bear. everybody tell you like, no, man, nope. He give away too much. Nope. He take care of too many single kids, people that don't look like him, moms in shelters, all that for years. And I don't tell nobody. So what a person might say when I'm teaching, other people be like, no, man, well, he's teaching. Do you know him? Well, he's my sheep, but do you know him? I see. And that's the difference. You can know me. You should know me. You should know my empress very well. You should know my family. You should see who I am in real life. Or you can be able to speak like, just like Noble Barclay did. Like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. That ain't nah. Just like everybody else will do when they don't look like me. Be like, I don't know what you're talking about. But they'll be like, yeah, I see him at GCU when he's teaching, and we love it because he's matter factual. So that's all I'm saying with that situation. So gratitude for us for being open, man. Do y'all want to go a little bit more? Or y'all got something to do? We'll stop and we'll proceed next week. I don't want to hold nobody up because we've been going. We only got 10 minutes left. I'll give y'all a little bit of science I was going to give, and then I was going to jump into the Quranic study guide. But we got into this. We had to run an audible, and I'm okay with running audibles.
Well, I did have that one. I hit you up about that verse.
Which one, Noble? Oh, you found it?
No, I haven't found it.
I see, and I totally forgot. Can you go ahead and speak on it again?
Well, in the reading, it was in chapter 2. Hold on, let me pull it up right here. Debased.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to really get the essence of the definition of debased.
Mm-hmm.
And Noble Alonzo, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, sent us a concordance for the Moorish Quran.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to understand what debased means. So when I opened that PDF up and debased, it gives you debased in the definition in the context of which it's used in every verse that is presented in the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the chapters that it pointed out, debased, it went to chapter 37 in the Holy Quran. Mm-hmm. So I went and I wanted to read in context what it said.
Okay.
Chapter 37, verse 4. It said, and so it gives you the page number and what verse on that page number.
Okay.
So it's 45, and then it says verse 4 on page 45. Well, I go to that page, well, that verse is not there. So chapter 37, verse 4 is not in there. So I was wondering if anybody else.
It's not in the Quran from that concordance that he gave you.
Yeah, the verse period is missing.
It's probably a misprint.
Well, I tried to Google it. I tried to look it up.
But
74.
But is it 37? Is it 37 and 4?
37:4.
Chapter
yes.
37, verse 4 is not in either version of the Quran. It goes from verse 3 and it jumps to verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
In both versions of the Quran.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
It's not there.
It's not there. The whole verse is not there.
That's what he's saying.
37, it goes 1, 2, 3,
Yep.
and then it jumps to 5. So if you read 3 and then you read 5, it flows, but it doesn't exactly flow because there's another verse that's supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm. So
now, I don't know if maybe there's I don't want to, I can't explain that.
You did. Yeah, you did. You about to explain it. Just let it flow. Because I'm finna answer you, Noble. Man, y'all be right there and writing and don't even know it. Let me give you a reason. Noble Malik hit me up a while back, y'all, right? And Noble Malik was like, man, I read something in the Quran that said, didn't you read this in the book or something? Or something like that. And I was like, it's right here. It's in the Quran. Remember, it was just a compilation. Remember, you was asking me something. I got to find it. And you was like, the Quran talks about another book or something. Remember?
Yes. All the books talk about another book.
But it's a little I can't remember what it is. But you was like, in the Quran talks about this other Quranic book or Quranic guide. And you was like, well, where is that? You like, if it's in the Quran, isn't it one? And I was like, yeah, right here. And so what I'm saying is when a person to read that in the Quran, when they are studying that, you'll be like, okay, well, where's that book at? Or where's that science at? A person don't have it. Remember, and I was like, it's right here. I sent it to y'all.
Oh, that was probably a while ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah. But I have to read it a little bit more, Noble, just to see, because I'm sure I can cross-reference it with another scripture and tie it together and make it make sense, because that's how it works. In order to explain the new, you can take it from the old and cross-reference it. So I have to look at it and find the other text and say, well, bam, and put it and put it together for you can it'll flow from something that was already been said.
There's one more. I don't know if you guys are reading in the Quranic study guide, it covers the 101s. And it gives you specifically the Quran and the Bible references. Now, if you remember, there's another book that she gave us, which was by Eric Munjan Bay, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, come on, Noble.
And what that book is, that one breaks down the 101.
There you go.
And so it gives you a reference for each 101 for the first part of the book. And then the second part of the book, it basically gives you a summary of what that specific 101 is talking about. So if you're going through the Quranic study guide and then you're using that book that Eric Munjan Bay has, matter of fact, I'm gonna grab it in just a second. You'll reach a point, I think at about the 22 or 25, somewhere around there, you'll reach a point in the book where that whole page is missing inside of Eric's book. So he's missing about 5 or 6 or 7 references or summaries from the 101s. I got it written down. I can go look at it in just a second. I got it written down.
And also, Nobles, when Moors be saying, remember, we did this. That's why I said we all got the ammo to the gun. In the Quran, when Moors make the statement saying law governs all events. Well, if law governs all events, break the law down off the Quran. Remember, we did that. I gave y'all the manual. We can break all the law down with the Quran and basic the law. Y'all got the basic manual. Didn't we do that already?
Yeah.
In all forms of law, we did. Like I said, we did this already. So I'm just trying to go back and bring things back to your remembrance. I'm a teacher. I don't mind doing this stuff over and over and over. This is what I do. And if I'm gonna do it, and if I'm gonna do it and get paid good, you think I ain't gonna come and do it to my brothers and I love this and do it for donations with my people? That's all people got to do is give donations. I get paid to do this. And so y'all, that law governs all events. That law governs all events. We broke that down. We all read it and we broke it down. You could cross-refer from the Quran to the law. Boom, 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 all through that whole thing. And they call that adapt wisdom, but I don't. I call that elementary wisdom because all Moors should know that. It ain't nothing to hide. It ain't secret with me. It's sacred. I want all my brothers to know the higher science so you know how to defend themselves. So you know that Quran is a law book and you can break law governs all events, not just saying it out your mouth as a catchphrase, but actually understand it and being able to eloquently explain it with a silver tongue. So gratitude, nobles. Y'all got the science. Y'all got the manuals.
What was you just saying, Noble Alonzo? I didn't hear you. You're muted.
No, I was saying that the Eric Munjan book is the word book. It's a word book, just so it you know, we didn't put the 2 and 2 together with no remarks.
Okay, gratitude.
The SO Science, the SO word book. Yep.
SO Science.
Excuse me, the SO Science word book. That's why I'll be saying, nobles, we have to have all the things that go with the Quran, the manuals to. Like I said, how a person going to say they know this and know what this means? They don't have the manuals. So if you a teacher, I hope you have the teaching manual. So if we got all these books to go with the Quran, why we hiding them? Why Moors talk about it ain't the Moorish paradigm and all those Moorish adapt books when they talk about this? And I don't hide nothing. But are we studying it and are we understanding it? That's the difference. Or are we just gathering things and sitting it on the shelf? And there's certain things that I recommend when I say these are the things. So when you study it, you will have it. I'm teaching you systematically. So everything that I teach on should be out. Boom, boom, boom. As what? Reference. I should have an asterisk by those things. Barclay, you got the floor, Noble, if you own.
You said what?
Oh, you did. What did you want to say? Something else?
No. I was trying to find that, give you guys the specific reference inside of Eric Eric Mungin's book, but I don't want to take the time up to find it because
Okay. Well,
I was looking at it the other day. I'll send it out again.
What? Excuse me. Yeah, cut the fan on. It's dusty in here. But I got some questions, man, because a couple more has been asking me some questions, so I'll leave you with this because I don't want to rush the teaching. I'll just leave y'all with this, and we'll pick up next week. So, studied the Quranic study guide where we were at again, chapter 2 to 4, and study and go back in your Moore's Quran and read chapter 2 and 3, and then we're gonna synchronize that's all that study with the Bible and the Quran. We're gonna tie it all together so we can remove the hate. When we can ask people, it's no difference. I'm just using different synonyms. I'm just using different words, but we're saying the same thing. Because if you got any knowledge in you, especially or more, you understand that we understand monotheism and we don't diss nothing. That's the triple rules of the Adapt chamber. So how can we say what we teaching is different than anything else? You got to understand what monotheism is. And that's why I ask most Moors, when I say, is our Moore's Quran compiled from the unto thee I grant as well? They say, yeah, absolutely. They be acting like they're heavy. So I'm saying, well, how can you agree with what I'm saying? And what I just said is in the preface of the unto thee I grant, when I'm talking about monotheism right in the beginning. So if you agree that our Moore's Quran is gathered and compiled and based off something that was already written, our Rosicrucian manual, and our Rosicrucian manual says exactly what I'm saying, how can you disagree with me? You ain't read. Then there's no way. So I got to be matter of fact when I speak like that. I said, I know most Moors don't read. I know most Moors don't fact check. And I'm not saying us. I said, why? Because if you say you believe in something, you have all these books, and I'm quoting science that goes with the manuals that our prophet wrote from, and you would disagree with me, man, in court, man, I'll lock you up because you got to be crazy. You must. See? And right in the preface of the unto thee I grant, I guarantee you would talk about monotheism. I guarantee you in the preface. Just like in the preface of the Exhumed of the Nation, it tell you about nobody can nationalize you or denationalize you, right? Right, nobles? So right in the preface, so why should we be letting people, I can nationalize you? How? Can't even, the only they can do is make you a Mason. And that's why I know Moors don't read. No disrespect. So I'll leave y'all with this to think, because this was sent to me, because it's a lot of Moors locked up right now. No disrespect. I'm in Arizona. I don't like to blast people out. My professor is a lawyer out here. And so I used to go in there and sit with my fez on and see how he used to make people take their fez off, people that's on the internet that a lot of people follow. And I'll be laughing, and they'll look at me and I'll laugh. And they were like, well, why he got his own? And a referee will say, well, you just said it's your national headdress. What's the law? What you mean? What's the law? What's the precedent in law case and a doc number that says you can wear your fez in my courtroom? I don't know. Well, take the hat off then, sir, or contempt of court. It's your right to defend yourself with what? The same law that they're trying to convict you. Defend the Constitution. It's very simple. So this is what I be saying when a lot of Moors be confusing us. So I'm going to touch on this. So when I say I don't promulgate nothing criminal, there's nothing criminal about a Moor. I'm here to defend the Constitution. I'm not one of those people that you will see on the internet squatting or driving without no license and all that, because I understand restrictions in the law. I understand things. If I'm obey, not only if I'm not enforcing the law, I must understand the law. But those who call themselves some white sovereign citizens or some sovereign citizen, man, everybody got to know that's an oxymoron. You cannot be a sovereign and a citizen. There's no way. There's no way you can be anybody come with you that sovereign citizen stuff. You should run. That's a code word for run. Because how can you be a sovereign individual? It's not. Moors, that's under that. That is out of the line with the authority teachers of our prophet Noble Drew Ali. And these is facts. Because you got some people that call themselves with some paperwork and call themselves with that sovereign language, with that UCC, that Uniform Commercial Codes, that United Nations declarations when I talk about expatriation procedures. See, I've done this before. and a person that said you need to expatriate from this de facto government. When you do that, ask yourself this very question: where are you a willing citizen of? And you here in the States, when you willingly give up your citizenship, you know what that make you? Do you know what that make you? What? Say it.
Negro.
No, yeah, that too. But what else it make you here on land? That too, but what's the proper verbiage? Come on.
Stateless persons.
That too, but what else?
Domestic terrorists.
Ding, 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 ding.
What'd you say?
Domestic terrorists, he said.
Ding, 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 ding on your own land. I'm telling you, when you do that, I guarantee you, and these people are not going to tell you. I'm telling you. And it's infected the lot of the Moorish movement. That's why our prophet said, if you want, no disrespect to no one again, if you want European sheiks, I can give them to you. Meaning our prophet Noble Drew Ali got tired of a lot of Moors running away, going to the no disrespect, the other nationality, and accepting their verification over the lessons of freedom and salvation. Like, I study and I read everything, Nobles, and I read the language. When I study more science literature, and when a person trying to, how can I say it, guide your thought process, like for instance, the little book I showed y'all, I don't have it down here, the Moorish Science book, it's in red and white, and it got the lady laying down, got the prophet on it. Now, inside that book, when you get to the marriage, it talk about Noble Drew Ali said that he told Moors to go to the city hall and get their marriage license and blah, 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 and have a sheik do this. Now, that's truth mixed with falsehood. Yes, you're supposed to have your sheik do your union. Yes, you can get an agreement and your sheik can sign it and have somebody here that's there as a witness. That's legal. You can do in your tribe. I'm a tribal leader. Ask anybody legal and lawfully. So when they say that, I can show you other teachings where our prophet said, hey, this is how we go in a union. And this is how I do it with your sheik. And if you don't want to listen to the words out of my mouth, then go to the courts and go to the Romans and buy your wives. So it's two writings. It's two things with one saying this, one saying that. What I'm saying, let's be knowledgeable. Let's share both sides of the information and deal with it and see which one is reasonable and which one would you roll with it. Because we're not responsible for what we did before. That's why our prophet said when we come into the light, we let our sheep do union things and we come from under that yoke, if it mean that much to us. That's all. But some Moors do have good intentions, but they haven't been properly educated, y'all. Some brothers with criminal intentions that be talking about they master rent writers and they be showing you how to squat in houses and do all that. That ain't what I do. And show you, and I tell people that, and they lie to you and say they're not paying taxes in their neighborhood where you a lie because the local law's gonna trump everything you saying. And if you in the neighborhood, you are paying taxes. So don't lie to nobody like that. So some with criminal or Negro mentalities and those looking to get a quick fix. I'm not trying to get a quick fix. And then they mix what? No disrespect. Europeans call sovereign citizens or the sovereign groups, and they be mixing these demonstrations. Y'all, don't y'all know that so-called way how Moors bringing into the movement about they don't pay taxes, the way they doing it, that's a no disrespect again. That's a European thing. That's the Albi. That they brought that to the science. You can research a group in Canada called the Paradigm Group and see what happened to that guy that was doing it and everybody a part of it. And he wrote books and Negroes be quoting from these books. I'm like, he gonna get everybody locked up because it's already been proven it's a way to do this stuff, y'all. It's a way to do this legally, taxes everywhere, to not to get in no trouble. And I teach this stuff, and I have to be matter factual. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be having professors giving me donations. When I tell Moors, isn't this a fact? Watch this, yes or no. And that's all I want Moors to ask, say yes or no. Boom, okay. At one point, depending on in your state, well, most states, they say you can give 60% of your taxes to your charitable contribution of your choice. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so say I'm in a tax bracket, Noble Malik, and I'm in the science, and I love what's going on. And I say, damn, at the end of the year, I owe Uncle Sam $10,000, right? Right, Noble? Yeah. Okay, so why would I write a check to Uncle Sam $10,000? I love the science, and they say by law you can give at least 60% to your charitable contribution of your choice. So if the law say I'm gonna give $6,000 to my charitable contribution of my choice and give $4,000 to Uncle Sam every time, every year, because why?
Because most people don't know this exists because they don't no law.
Thank you. And that's what we agree. And now if you research, remember, because laws change, you got to be on the current of the laws. Now you research, I guarantee you right now, you can give 100% of your gross income in certain states right now. 100% right now. All you gotta do is research it. So when I speak of things, when I say I'm on a campus doing this, and how I did a lecture with all the college professors, and my professor was like, when I was doing my oral dissertation, and he was like, well, Noble Goodman Bay, how can not only the staff, not only the students and the parents help you if they're not, around or whatever? Are you a nonprofit organization and we can help you by giving donations and you can give us a tax-exempt receipt? Yes. And so a lot of the professors and things. So say if you in a high tax bracket and you owe 100,000 at the end of the year, you making $1 million, you can give 600,000 to me and I can give you a tax-exempt receipt. And so that's how I'm saying how easy this stuff is for us that's organized to change the paradigm. We got to be legit. And that's why I'm saying when it's international, when it's universal, and we don't teach the laws, how if we're going to help in our neighborhood, y'all, if we not set up the right way, we can do things. We can stand out because Noble Drew Ali wasn't doing nothing illegal. How you think all those politicians was getting in office and then they not show you that in the archives, all those mayors thanking Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish Science Temple. And if it wasn't a part of if it wasn't for the Moors, they wouldn't have won. I told y'all most people study in the Royal Archives. I can show y'all when you look in the Royal Archives and you look up Scottish history, you will see all the misnomer, the Asiatics in Greek, in Britain, all that. You will see Alex Pushkin. Yes, he was a more dark skin and everything. The one that came up with the Russian language. Yes. Just like that picture with Barclay when we took up in a Greek restaurant, I asked the dude, Noble Malik, oh, you got a picture of something, Noble?
Yeah, I just looked it up. It's 60% in California.
See? So, and we was at the Greek restaurant, Noble, and I asked the guy that worked there, I said, you know those Iberians, right? He was like, yeah. He ain't say there was no Anunnaki, no fake stuff that Zachariah Stitchens came up with. He was like, yeah, that's Iberians. The Iberians is the Canaanites, the Jacobites. Research it. And all this stuff is in the museums in Europe. So when Noble Barclay was like, yeah, like, it's just our own people that don't know. Everybody else know because they done been to Europe. They done been to the Netherlands. And all this stuff is in the dark ages. I tell people, most, no disrespect, Europeans that know something that's heavy, they study at the Royal Archives like me, the Library of Congress like me, and a lot of them are Masons. And if they think they're heavy, they part of the Philosophical Research Society like me. That's how I be knowing all this. Huh?
Let me stand corrected.
Yeah.
Federal government is 60% of your federal government is 60% of your adjusted gross income, your AGI, and then California limits cash contributions to 50% of your federal IGA, which is your adjusted gross income.
Now, did you hear? Now, watch this. They said, now, I love teaching because they said, and 50% cash. So when I'm saying you can give checks.
No, that was the state. One was the federal government and one was the state of California.
I know, but watch this. So say if you want to give check, like a person give check, and this, you can follow that. A person can give cash too. Like say you in a neighborhood, you a church or whatever, taxes in for the federal government, right? If Malik, a hustler right now, Malik say, man, I'm getting ready to go to the Fed joint. I'll drop $1 million off. Malik can walk right outside. They take him to the Fed joint. They can't come take nothing because he donated it. I guarantee you. I know this. Well, it's in Sopranos. I said, do y'all see what's going on? I said, do y'all see why they part of the church? Do y'all see why they be able to go speak and digress every time they do something crazy? And that priest is under a certain law, client and lawyer confidentiality, the same way I am. Why they ain't black preachers? I be telling people like, y'all not seeing it. Why everything is through the church? Because you can do things to your community. Your tax exempt for the government. You can operate this long as you doing service, as long as you donating time and doing things. People can donate. Who? Everybody. That they might be doing something crazy. They can donate. You can donate. You ain't doing nothing else with it. You going to jail or prison or something else, you can donate. The cash part, when you operating like that, and that's a true statement. So I'll just be saying about things when I say, if we making money already, you don't have to go outside yourself to do extra. You can just do the basics. If I'm working and this is what I got to pay Uncle Sam, I'm going to give 60% of that to this brother. And I'm going to give small donations monthly. And he can give me a tax as a receipt. And I can claim all that because that'll be something different. I'm part of this. My checks is my donations. This cash is my tithes. See, it's very easy to explain. You got the right to defend yourself in a court of law. And they're gonna be like, okay, I have donors, man, no disrespect. I have donors that I've given 20,000, this amount of money, and everything that I tell people, I'm legit. So understand that process. But I want to get down to the last part and we're done. But you got to understand that the full process of proclaiming your nationality and the laws that give us the right to do everything we need to do in order to build a nation and a government in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, with privileges, immunities, and protections, and the laws of freedom involving the 4 proclamations of Lincoln, the 13th Amendment with the 20, not the few they took out, the 20 sections, not to be confused with the 13th Amendment, nobles, with 2 sections. That's what most of they gave us today. And the Hebrew codes that pertain to freedom, as shown in Leviticus 25 and 10, written on the Liberty Bell. And understanding how the Moorish National Bureau of Vital Statistics was set up by a Grand Sheikh, Richard Dingell. By going to the Pentagon to speak to the military on behalf of the naturalizing and the recording process for all Moorish Americans to come back lawfully into the constitutional fold and union and correct their status. Didn't I show you all that? I don't think I PDF'd that when I showed you how they sent the letter and a declaration to Bush, the president.
No.
I just did it the other day. I did it on YouTube and I showed the document, everything I'm talking about.
It's a whole bunch of them, right?
Yep, but it got the letter, got the Morris declaration, everything when they sent to Bush in 2006. It was. Look, watch. I just want to show it because I know I got that right here. I was just building on it the other day. Watch this. Oh, I thought, nope, it's upstairs. But yeah, I just.
On it. I'm not
Here it go. I got it. Here it go. I got it. My bad. It's right here, Noble. Watch this. Here go the declaration. What they sent to Bush. This the declaration and everything. And then let me show you. And here go the receipt and everything when it was sent to Bush. I'll send y'all this. Mr. President, we humbly ask you to send us an immediate acknowledgement of your reception of these documents. This is necessary to avoid redirecting the course of this inevitable events. If it's your will and pleasure, you may issue instructions and arrangements via phone, call, email, write, or otherwise contact iDirect at the contacts below my signature. We look forward to the great day when former slaves and former slave masters can link themselves with the families of nations, and none will be in want of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Upon your request, I will forward you the list of cabinet officials which will be present. For your disbursement, we prepare and enclose 5 original copies of the Moorish American Declaration Proclamation of Status and Jurisdiction. Each copy of the aforesaid document and this missive will bear the embossed National Moorish American seal to assure their authenticity. Through our highest principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, honorably, Elu in Pleasant Bay. Sheikh Elohim Pleasant Bay, Divine Minister, Grand National Chairman of Moorish American. Now, if we say, and this is the official document that went to Bush, right? And so when Moorish be saying, oh yeah, exhumed of the nation, well, I just said who wrote it. Sheikh Elizabeth Bay, and everything I'm saying, it's agreed. So how can any more operating disagree with anything I'm saying? They frauding and they making it up on themselves, because none of that stuff will bring you back into the jurisdiction of where we need to be. Richard Dingell spoke to the military, which I just showed. He spoke to the military, going to the Pentagon to speak to the military on naturalizing and recording process of all Moorish Americans to come back lawfully into the constitutional fold and union and correct our status, religion, race, name, birth certificate, and jurisdiction. Because Obama told you, you have a right of a nationality and a right to change it. And to claim a child replaces the birth certificate. No one will be arbitrarily denied of a nationality and the right to change it. That's the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. And really understand, you say what, Noble?
What's the step of the claim?
The claim of child?
The child replaces the birth certificate?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Read the law. That's why I tell a person don't. That's why I tell a person, well, I said read the law and then ask the law people what that means. The
I think it's Article 7, but I'm gonna get back to you. I think it's Article 7.
It's the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. Guaranteed.
15.
Yeah, guaranteed.
The Declaration of Child.
Oh yeah, well yeah, the Declaration of the Child, yeah, but the Declaration of Human Rights, yeah, that one, yeah, but the Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15 is kind of summarize it up when you have a right of nationality and a right to change it, and no one would be arbitrarily denied of a nationality. Arbitrary mean ain't nobody gonna just tell you can't do this because the law say you can. Arbitrary, that's the key word. No one would be arbitrary. Huh?
That's what they do. That's the history in school. They arbitrarily explain.
Come on, Noble. Come on. And wouldn't a person want me to teach their kid and then be like, because the European agree with me, they'd be like, he's right. And can't nobody arbitrarily explain or use linguistic apartheid and try to use that linguistic stuff on you to twist you up. And I know etymology and etymon. I know Greek. I know Hebrew. I know the metanether. I know to understand signs and symbols, you have to have the alphabet of those people. See, these is key facts. And the union and correct status, religion, race, name, birth certificate, and jurisdiction, and really understand what our holy Moorish Quran, our Moorish literature, our one-on-one questionnaires, our authority, our charter and warrant and dispensation, and our divine constitution and bylaws is really saying, especially the degree of in Acts 6. That's what I'll be telling people. Read our divine constitution, read them all. It's going to fact check you. And that's just the basics. And it's a few more science temples and brothers that's promulgating the wrong thing. No disrespect to no one. You know?
So I mean, you take your child out of slavery basically when you claim your child and replace the birth certificate, because the birth certificate is what puts them in slavery, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It's your right to say you have the right to do that. That's why I'm saying a lot of Moors is confused.
But at the same time, you say if your child grew up and they have a lack of knowledge, they can also put themselves back into slavery.
Absolutely. From the lack of not knowing, Noble. And we see, I love this. And when you know, we are more guilty than a person that's not knowing. I'm not going to blame nobody that don't know. But when we know and we send our children out there, which is innocent, without the tools in the toolbox, we'll say, oh, this is the tools in the toolbox. In our Moorish Quran, chapter 5. These are the tools to do this, do this. Well, my child have a toolbox too. And I want these tools to be used very early. I want to have no toolbox and look like they ain't never used them. Stay inside the box. And that's why a lot of Moors be confused and all that with this stuff, because they talk about they dealing with civics instead of dealing with the divine, and the divine come first. That's a fact, and it's ego. And that's why I do understand why a lot of people have turned away and turned their ear to the negativity, and they navigate by themselves or mix different procedures in order to stop from getting misused. I understand that. By this, what we know, the de facto jurisdiction, because of the confusion Moors and the stagnation of the great movement of the planet. I'm going to give you all this and we gone, because this is important. When you look at things, man, when you look at other more fascist groups, all these individuals, and you take a look at freedom nobles, you take a look at naturalization, nationalization, constitutional law, and then you understand exactly what our prophet Noble Drew Ali taught us, that our movement no longer stay in turmoil, and the people have a solid foundation on how to save ourselves with the protection of a true temple, a true God, a true municipality, a true district, because all that's synonymous when you legit, a true Moorish government. I'm a Moor. I have a Moorish government. How? Because if you read how the temple is set up, your trustees are the same thing as other officials when you legit, because you appoint your people. You appoint, not elect. And that's what people don't understand when you can set your own self up. And that's what our prophet was saying. I'll leave the European here long enough for you to set up yourself. You don't want to set up yourself up in the right way, or what you setting yourself up like? Illegal. He said, I'm going to leave the European here long enough to show you how to set up a government. That's legal. Think about this stuff.
Control everything, own nothing.
Come on. And now taking a proper look at the national side, the local side, the state, and the federal. And I told you, a lot of people in trouble. So I can clear up this European sovereign citizen. When you clear up the confusion, you got to deal with the sovereign citizen part. And through study of law and what our prophet Noble Drew Ali has set up and what I teach, our prophet Noble Drew Ali is the only true sovereign, Moors, the only true creditor in the Western Hemisphere, because he set the temple up. Ain't nobody else. It's only one more science temple. Come on. Those who become members and citizens in his movement are his heirs. Prophet Noble Drew Ali demonstrated this, nobles, by how he registered our movement, what has been recorded for public record, and the language of our charter, the Holy Quran, 101 questionnaire, divine constitution, and the bylaws. All this stuff can be looked up in the CCRD. I got the documents when those, no disrespect, when those older sheets lying to you, talking about it some 1010 and some trust. And I got the documents from the courts, from the law, telling you like, this ain't nothing but an affidavit, a religious affidavit. Who you lying to? No one individual can be a sovereign citizen, Moors. And you notice if you study that your God or your higher power is your sovereign, which is then represented by the head of what? A nation and a government, which we are. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School. We a nation and a government. Understand this. I'm a tribal leader. Read the religious rights of the indigenous people. That's why our prophet said, don't give away your last name for a morsel. Y'all part of a tribe. Y'all part of a tribe, man. Understand that. So anyone wishes to be an individual sovereign is an era of law and divine law. And our divine and national movement. That's why you got to understand the Dred Scott case showed that there is a sovereign community, a body politic, we the people, not an individual. And the language that some of our people wish to use would do nothing but get them jammed up at the end, confused, legal jargon, being a paper terrorist, delusional of the grandeur of being a sovereign in black. That's why we got to be studying the language. When I say, don't get mad at what I'm saying, study the language. The language, listen to the cipher of what I'm saying. I save you. Study the language of our prophet is the key. And as a prophet, as an adept, as an angel, as an Ali, it will only make sense that our prophet, that myself and others that's willing to stand on truth by ourselves. Our prophet Noble Drew Ali has foreseen what was to come and understood the language of law. So misguided Moors or individuals who wish to use the words Native American, Native Indian, American Indian, Amerindian, Aboriginal, First People, First Nation, Original People, Indigenous, Paleo, Pre-Adamite, Autotoxin, etc. in their documents to prove that is who they are, not dealing with specifics. Because we don't have that on our paper. I said we deal with specifics, not generalities. In the court of law, you must be specific and in a proper context and history on what they really are. So you're going to deal with wine, and all wine connoisseurs want to know the appellation of the grapes. Think about this stuff. And we'd be like, my appellation. I'm like, dude, you would be convicted of contempt of court. Because you proving the judge right. You saying one thing and not living up to it. Like, dude, you confused of law. And in the court of law, there's no excuse of not knowing the law. And neither do they understand the language and the information of what our prophet Noble Drew Ali was stating in chapters 45 and 47 in our Moorish Holy Quran and questionnaire 12, 13, 14, 30 to 32 in the 101 questionnaires. Read it. And it described the Moor and the Moorish American and does not have any holistic saving power. So the de facto jurisdiction will be able to find a way to get jurisdiction or break treaties. How I told y'all, man, when I talk about the UCC and the Uniform Commercial Code, it's a trap. It's a trap. See, people don't want to talk like that. I said, if you got to know law, they be talking about some UCC codes. Well, I got the whole UCC library. It's marine time. It's traveling on things. It's a lot of that go with it. And when you study the timeline, you will see that the UCC was formed to counteract what our prophet Noble Drew Ali already done, which is to take hold.
Because they lying too.
Yes.
Because if that's the case, Uniform Commercial Code is used for, like you said, maritime law and ships.
Yes.
Well, show me that cargo manifest with all the slaves on it.
It approved them like, oh, I thought it wasn't no slave. We ain't come on here. Ding, it just proved you as a liar. And which it takes hold of the land, the resources, and we have the mandate to prove it. The UCC was birthed in 1492 and crystallized in 1952. Oh, Stevie Wonder told us in Misrepresented People, in 1492, you fell upon us shores, 700 years, educated by the Moors. Misrepresented people. Misrepresented people. Y'all like Stevie Wonder? Listen to the song. It is fashioned after our ancient laws and customs of trade and commerce that Moors was the originator of. Remember, I showed y'all in Thomas Jefferson Quran, the scholars one and the white one, what they tried to burn up, and they said how they was doing business with the Moors to come on our land and do business, the army, and they called you a Corsica, a Berber, a pirate. Remember? I don't get it. It's there. I'm talking history.
Even in the Indian is the Blackamoor, tell you about Musa Mansa and tell you about Hannibal and all those people.
Yeah. And however, nobles.
Look up the coat of arms too, with the three faces. The Moors with the three faces on them, and they tell you what they call them, courtesans, or I'm sorry, Saracens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then you get the people, and then the people say, "Well, you telling me everybody was this, man?" Yeah, especially who ruled Europe. David McRitchie will tell you. Oliver Cromwell will tell you before he took authority. Yes, the world. Yes, when I take you to the museums in Europe and all those places, and in Germany, yes. When I show you Russian icona, yes. And then a person that's want to be a liar, well, you can. That don't mean they were that color because they use bronze. Boy, get out of here. Get out of here. So, Moors do not have to use that today for our salvation. And using this UCC and a UCC1 filing to secure your straw man is committing a fraud. This is what I wanted to tell y'all, and I'm done. When you're using a UCC and a UCC1 filing to secure your straw man, it's committing fraud. And I just explained earlier who was the true creditor, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And when Moors and those unnaturalized, when they see Black Law's Dictionary, the 9th edition, but I said get the Black Law's 1st edition, which Moors don't have, and it's going to tell you it ain't no description of black to use ethnicity in the 1st century. That's why I destroyed Willie Lynch was a lie. Come on, man. You contempt the court. You'll get locked up. When you look up the Black Law's 9th dictionary for the definition of unnaturalized and come under the temple and the Moorish government, which we are, they will be protected under the umbrella of who? The true creditor. So dealing with the United Nations declarations, nobles, what Moors have to ask themselves, do the United Nations have a charter? Yes. And then ask yourself, do the Moorish Science Temple have a charter? When you compare them with the language, it supersedes the other. And it's clear that the Moorish Science Temple charter is higher than the United Nations charter. So why are Moors using the declaration?
Say that again.
What?
Which charter was higher?
Oh, the Temple charter is higher than the United Nations charter. These is facts. So why are Moors using the declarations under the United Nations charter? And it's clear that Moors do not know or understand the national side of this movement. Remember what our Prophet Noble Drew Ali said in international law, nobles. Charters are seen as treaties. I'm a charter, legally and lawfully, just like I'm also a fraternity. When I start showing y'all this, man, the Ku Klux Klan, they use the Quran, aka the Chlorian. They just put an L in it, KLO. You know the rest.
Yeah.
Charters are seen as treaties. In that situation, the Moorish Science Temple charter is the language. The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School is the language that supersedes every treaty. Why? Because the religious laws trump us, trump any other thing else. I guarantee you. If not, go ask a Mormon, go ask a Latter-day Saint, do they participate in anything, the government, and see. You'll be like, damn, they don't do this, they don't do this, they don't do that. Yeah, because it's their religious right. Guaranteed. And see if I'm saying something wrong.
Yeah, they keep them blinders on.
Come on, man, because they don't participate in something that they don't have a dog in the race. Why should I? So as we can see, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali has closed up every loophole. The same way I teach, I'm just closing up loopholes. And when our prophet said, paraphrasing, I have the government, I just need the people, it's clear. Moors just have to get in line under the protection. So those misguided Moors and individuals who wish to expatriate themselves only think that that means they are leaving from under the jurisdiction of the de facto jurisdiction, nobles. But watch this. Expatriation means these brothers that love walk around with the Black Laws, and I know they don't read. I'm about to read Black Laws for you. Black Laws Dictionary, 4th edition, revised page 685. And y'all got all these in disposal because I gave them all to y'all. All the Black Laws, the ones that's important. Expatriation, the voluntary act of abandoning one's country. But you say you were Moorish American, huh? With Moroccan descent.
Voluntarily. Abandon.
The voluntary act of abandoning one's country and becoming the citizen or subject of another. Did you hear what I just said? Because that's the key in the whole thing. Before I read it, I said, when you expatriate for some this so-called de facto government, where are you a citizen or allegiance to when you do that? Another country. Because I just read what expatriation is, the voluntary act of abandoning one's country and becoming the citizen or subject of another. The voluntary renunciation. Renunciation means I'm giving it up willingly, or abandonment, an abandonment of nationality and allegiance. So not only is one leaving the so-called de facto jurisdiction or the so-called foreign jurisdiction, you are leaving all jurisdictions, laws of the land, and basically naked politically and nationality-wise. And if you listen and understand what I'm saying, you know I'm telling the truth. If you love law and history, you see that we do not teach or promote such acts or actions. We teach that our founder has highlighted and can be confirmed in research that we are part and parcel of this said government. And we strive to be better citizens. I understand when I say citizens, because you willingly do things. I know I'm a Moorish American. I know that without a doubt. If I'm in a community, I can be a willing participant in that community if I want to, but I damn know who I am because I can tell you. All you gotta do is ask me. And a true American, and take part in a process of law known as what? Naturalization under the Hebrew codes that enable us to come back into the constitutional fold. Our Prophet Noble Jali, I continue to state, and with study, it also includes coming back into the union. I talk about the clock of destiny and no longer be in rebellion, as highlighted by one of our 4 proclamations of Abraham Lincoln, called the Proclamation of Amnesty and the Reconstruction. The Proclamation of Abraham Lincoln with the 13th Amendment with 20 sections, teaching law to what our Prophet Noble Ali stated in our Act 5 of our divine constitution and bylaws, what it says. Watch this, y'all. This is when the Moors get mad when I say this. Y'all ready? And I'm done. Y'all ready, nobles?
Yeah.
I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or in the streets. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these are violated, justice must then take its course. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequences. We are for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. I had to say that again. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, and that's esoterically and exoterically. That's my 2 cents. Or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement. So I hope you know the divine covenant will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the laws as laid down to them by our prophet. If we lose confidence in the prophet, what? Return back to the state where I would found you. Return your fez and your turban. We under Act 5 of the Moorish divine and bylaws, y'all. So I want to say gratitude and love. Any questions?
Now I was just gonna highlight in the state that he found the usurped Moorish nation in was mental slavery. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That you would like to return to, I don't think.
And so the question to come up like nationalize or naturalize, we're going to talk about that later. We're going to talk about how people be trying to sell, I'm going to send you the Great Seal and all this. I'm like, dude, so you don't want to learn the science. You want to get a whole bunch of stuff that you don't know how to defend, because when you go to court and you got all this stuff that's part of the Moorish Science Temple, this is what they're going to ask you. For the record, are you part of the Moorish Science Temple of America that Noble Drew Ali established? For the record, I'm giving you a chance. I've been there. Yeah. Okay, well, give me your ID for the Moorish Science Temple of America, because all members from the Moorish Science Temple of America have certain ID, and it can be looked up in the CCRD and the Moorish Vital Bureau of Statistics. So as soon as you say all that and come up with that fake paperwork you got from somebody else, and you gave me your social security number in, they're gonna be like, well, that's contempt of court, because that's not part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Somebody, you talk about this is your tribal ID. Well, what tribe? I'm just telling you, well, this is my national ID. Okay, well, you proclaim and declare and have due process. You got to tell me that, because they ID don't mean who you are. All you do, once you annex your B and your L and be a part of a tribe, it ain't no such thing as a sovereign and a citizen. I keep telling you, the laws protect us. We got to be under the right laws, the rights of the indigenous people, the religious rights. So if you under a certain religion, you have a tribal leader. I'm a tribal leader that's a sheik under the Moorish Temple of America with paperwork. My degrees confirm me to be able to teach this science. And then not only that, no disrespect, it don't make me better than nobody. I'm educated as well. And everything I talk about, I do. So I want to give us gratitude, man. Any questions before we leave? Any questions?
Nope. Oh, what was the CCRD stand for?
The County Clerk Recorder of Deeds.
Thank you. I couldn't.
And I'll send y'all that letter too, man. I don't know. I didn't think I sent all that letter. It can be for your file. How it was Sheik Lovell. I'm always gonna be honest. I tell people, you don't come to me when y'all know I'm a historian and this stuff is all legal information, doc number, Free Information Act, and precedent law cases. And that letter you can get from the CCRD where it's checking them. Like, I don't know where you're getting this from. They're like, not only are you wrong, you're legally wrong from all standpoints. When they're talking about, when they tell you some 10-10-9-9 is some trust fund at the end of the rainbow. When any more coming to you talk about some 10-10-9-9 is a trust, that's a bald-faced lie. Because it got to be something to trust to be in a trust. What you got? What you got? It ain't no trust. It ain't no money put aside for no Moors. That's fabricated. That's blasphemy. That's folly. And anybody telling you that, it's a scam to get money from you. Oh, I got to get some C notes. You got to get some silver notes for me to national. Can't nobody nationalize you. Only thing is, what did y'all get from me as a tribe, as a member of this tribe and a member from this school? What did you get?
A card and then a form of completion for certificates of completion.
Because you part of this tribe. And I'm a Moor and you a Moor, and that's how you identify. You under this tribe. What? This tribe, that's what represent Moorish science, that operate under the tenets of Moorish science. Our bylaws, our covenants speak that clearly, just like any other church, any other municipality. Y'all are trustees. On paper, I got it set up like that. What we doing, we have the right to what? To be by ourselves. We have the right to buy our own land and not assimilate once we start developing our land. This is all our right. And the only way you do that is on your own land, not in no neighborhood. Any questions, Morris? So gratitude, man. And I know we had an audible today, but it was very necessary to talk about our relationships and healing. And I know, like, sometimes I told nobles, man, I cried a lot with my empress, y'all. Like, y'all got to understand, like, literally, like, and it makes a difference when they say you really love them and you're really sincere. And even when we might not agree, we always come back to love. So that always worked for me, man. I never go to bed angry. You know, even though it sounds cliche, little stuff make a difference. Like, I was telling my sister Isis, like, counting to 10 before we respond if we mad. And if you super, super, super mad, count to 100. I give y'all all the manuals. Just like when we be saying, oh, I love the 48 laws of power. And then when I exhume the 48 laws of power, some people don't like it when we talk about the mirror effect. You know what I mean? And I say a person could give you a certain energy, and then I absorb energy just like the sun. So I'm gonna give the same thing back to you, how you came to me. And then we'll say, oh, I love this. But I say, I just gave it to you. What? Law 45 of the 48 laws of power is the mirror effect. So how can you be mad at what I'm doing? And you say you love this. People be posting up the book, oh, I love the 48 laws of power. I know they ain't read nothing. And when a person try to compete with the person that's teaching them, well, in the 48 laws of power, you never try to outshine the one that's bringing you nothing. This is not, I read everything. I study everything I have to. So when a person be posting things and be saying stuff, I say, well, damn, you're doing total opposite of what you was posting. So you can't believe in it because you haven't read it. And if you under the auspices, why would I want to do that? Why would I want to bump heads with somebody that's bringing me something I can bring? If I want to, why do I want to challenge? And I can, that's what the science says. Isn't it beautiful when a man see a God in another man and can be taught from their own brother? When a man say they love God that they never seen, but hate their brother that they see every day, that represent God in the flesh is that station, that delivering a divine message. We know it's something special about that individual.
Islam, we're supposed to be coming together. Like, just like, you got the sun, and then you got all of those surrounding bodies that they on one accord, and it's a harmony. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes, Noble. We gotta stop fighting. We gotta accept it. Like I tell Moors, when I get with Moors and they intelligent, I said, dude, I'm not having a pissing contest with you. Like, and that be a lot of time when I deal with intelligent Moors that know something. I say we all know something, but I'm not here to have no pissing contest with you because you're here for a reason. What's the reason? To learn this science. I'm not here to have an intellectual conversation with nobody. I know everybody knows something. Everybody did this, but with this science, if we say we lacking in this, that's the reason a person here. And if I got an expertise, I'm gonna bring my expertise to the paradigm. But I'm not here. I'm definitely not here to challenge the sheik because what can I challenge him with?
Islam.
If I'm here to learn, because if I wouldn't be here. But if I'm here to learn the science, what's wrong with having a guide? Because I know I'm guiding people. I know, I done a lot of what y'all getting from me. More has been following stuff or studying, never heard before. Even when I teach law and history, never heard before. Some of stuff we have, and I'm not saying I'm know-it-all, but I'm saying, haven't this been illuminating as far as the wisdom and the science? Yes or no?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I learned something. I'm increasing in my knowledge all the time here. You know what I'm saying? That's the truth.
So, and when everything and the cover of this Exhuming of the Nation, when our prophet said the only way out the fire is through the fire, our prophet went through the churches. He went through there just like me. He went through the Adept chamber to understand the religious rights. I did the same thing. What's the difference from prophet and me in the flesh? Why we got to deal with all the dead stuff? And we say, well, the Christian Bible, the dead stuff, because we giving credit to all the dead people. And I'm in the flesh. And the prophet and the angel, off our one-on-ones, it says a person that's clothed in the flesh. You know me. You know my name. You got to go through the fire to get out, to know what fire is, to be able to go in all those other religious houses and speak as a scholar. It's in our teaching that says only an Adept can do that. It says it in our teaching. Well, an Adept can go in any religious house and synchronize it. Why? Because he's going to use their books and they're going to agree to everything he says. Guaranteed. If they're not basing their belief system in it. Because I'm going to use their book. I go in a Catholic house, I'm going to use the Kabbalah and the Zohar to prove who I am. I'm going to bring a pentagram. I'm going to bring all them symbols and deal it. If I'm in the Masonic house, I'm going to show you how all that stuff goes to the Asiatic man and goes to Haram Abif. If we're in a Christian house, I'm gonna explain it too, and the science part of it, and show you what the map is. Any Christian book. What you talk about the 12 tribes, we talk about a landmass. We talk about a certain continent, a certain area. So I can connect, decipher, and everything, and pull myself out of it in love. So that's all I'm saying, man. I operate on love, and I hope we really, really just relax and synchronize the teachings and just be light and be love. The rest to come. Don't force your empress and don't be, oh, I got my empress, your empress don't have to do nothing but be her beautiful self and assist you and love you and throw an alley-oop and be like attentive a little bit, but they don't have to jump in something that's new to maybe you. And they say, well, you've been in it just for a couple of years or 2 years and under the auspices for 2 years. And out of all the time, we got 20 or maybe 10 years or 15 years. Be a little bit more tender with this. That's all I'm saying, man. I'm saying just be a little bit more tender, be a little bit more attentive, be a little bit more relaxed, be a little bit more laid back. I think, and as I close, I just give gratitude for Noble Barclay for coming out here, man. I just love when my nobles come and they can see how I live, because I like to love on people, man, especially my brothers. I said, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. I like to love on my brothers. I like to show this is who we are. I do everything for my family. I sacrifice for my family. I put my life down for my family willingly, without a question, without a doubt. I come off the throne and get on the horse and go to battle right with y'all. And if I make it back, cool. If I don't, oh well. I ain't tripping. I'm dead serious. That's exactly how I live. I ain't tripping. If I don't make it back off the battlefield, I'm good. Because I done seen death. I done seen my brother pass, all my friends in my city. Come on, man.
A good death is more honorable than the evil life.
Come on, Noble. So all I care about is the heart. I know what I'm doing is honorable. And if it hurts some people, then those people are not for me. And I understand that. And I tell everybody, hey, man, if you don't, it's okay I'm not for you. That's okay. But I'm not going to let nobody compete with me because I don't have a pissing contest with nobody.
Islam.
So I love y'all, man. Can we do our Moorish American prayer? And Noble Alonzo, can we please get that benediction? if you don't mind, Noble.
Oh, he's not on here.
Oh yeah, because he lost his signal. Anybody had a benediction available? Gratitude, man, and gratitude for y'all time, man, and tell y'all empresses we went a little long today. We threw an audible, but gratitude from them being kind and us going over. So gratitude.
It's at the end of one of the documents you gave us, huh?
Yeah.
Got it in his book.
I'm sorry, Nobles.
I was saying that I know for sure it's in your book.
Yeah, if you guys got it, I'll wait. If you don't mind. We just close out like that. But gratitude.
And I got a guest that may be able to join us tomorrow. Noble's a brother.
He's more than welcome, man. Invite him. That's why I said y'all can invite anybody with you. They're your guests. And bring people with you. Like, man, come to Sunday school. You know, it's Misnomer Black History Month. We're gonna continue to keep building and keep it simple all month. History.
All right.
Anybody found it?
Quiet yet. I'm getting to it.
That's all right. And get out of here. Gratitude, man. Much gratitude. Hey, do y'all have long turbans, y'all? Like the turban I got on is super, super long and it's soft like I got them, man. And if anybody need them, like hit me up. And like I said, I can get them for good prices. And you can cut this in half or whatever, because y'all can get the price for me without on the page, my Nobles. And they super long. And you can cut them in half, everything. You see, I got mine wrapped around my neck and everything. Because I like to have it long. I didn't wrap it all the way around. So when I'm out sometimes, I'll just, you know what I mean? I'll just do it like this.
Face cover.
Yeah, and I'll tuck it in, I'll rock it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
This is found the closing prayer.
oh, and I'm on YouTube, man. So a person was asking how can they learn? Our webpage is bbtsciencetemple.com. Our webpage is bbtsciencetemple.com. You can go on there and ask some questions, and one of my muftis will respond to you if you leave your email. And they'll send you the syllabus and all that, because we teach systematically and we have scheduled classes. So you got it, Noble?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do our Moorish American prayer. Someone, please.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my God, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali, Amen, Ashe, Ash'ar, Shalom Alakim, Islamism. Peace, peace, peace.
Gratitude, Nobles. And before we leave, like I said, I am on YouTube. So if anybody looking for your fez, turbans of any Moorish American regalia and much, much more, it's moorishhaberdasher.com, mypdfbooks.com. That's books with the Z, where you can get all our Moorish American books and much, much more. So gratitude, Nobles, and peace to y'all. But like I said, y'all can hit me up, and if anybody wants some different turbans, like I got them now for some good prices, because I found a source and I got a bulk of them. So if y'all do want some turbans, the long length, just hit me up, Nobles. But with that being said, gratitude. I love y'all.
Benediction.
Oh yeah, benediction. I'm sorry, Noble.
Islam. May the benediction of Allah be upon thee and thine always, as thou shouldst strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thine acts of love upon thy brethren, and do the best to shun thine evil ones. Remember to take suckle of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that you might nourish the souls of men. Let truth be the shield in thy manifest battle of falsehood. Know that Moors need not to pick the locks of the gates of paradise by means of petty theft, by means of petty or criminal theft. For behold, the key to salvation already rests within thine own hands. And yes, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, and inconsistency, there is still a greater part of our nature that is divine. May Allah protect thee, guide thee, preserve thee, lengthen thy age, and give thee everlasting peace. Islam.
Islam, man. Islam. I love y'all, Nobles. See y'all tomorrow in the morning. I will be there for workout, and see y'all tomorrow for Sunday school, man. Gratitude, Moors.
Gratitude.
And thank everybody that's on YouTube for the donations. We have some people on YouTube that sent some donations to Cash App $KG So all those that sent the donation, please put your email on there. And if you gave $5 or $10, I will send you $5 you gave, I'll give you my book. $10 you give, I'll give you 2 of my books. If you want to give more, I'll give you more of my books. Today, if you give $50, I'll give you all 10 of my books, PDF. And so with that being said, I love y'all. Cash App $KG and thank y'all for the donations that y'all sent to there. Peace and love, Morris.
Peace and love.
So gratitude to everybody that's on Instagram, man. I mean, here on YouTube. I want to give y'all all gratitude for those that tuned in. I want to thank those that donated, because you can do whatever with your money. And I'm thanking you for even thinking about sending me a donation, no matter how small or how big it is. So gratitude to those that place it upon their heart to give a charitable contribution to Cash App $KG. So everybody that gave at least $5 or $10, I will send you one of my PDF books. Please leave your email in there. Please check out MorrisHaberdasher.com for all your Moorish American regalia, your fez, your turbans, etc., and mypdfbooks.com. That's books with the Z. For all your literature, your Moorish American literature, all in PDF form. And you can go to Office Max and Staples. They can print the books and bind them. I have the machines. I bind my own books, but they'll do it and print the book and bind it for you. You go in there and check out a lot of my books on Amazon. They're expensive. Go on Amazon and see how much this costs. We combine these to PDFs. And we make the books. We talk about the Clock of Destiny and all that stuff. We have them all. Exhumed of the Nation. All this stuff is on. This is on Amazon for $2.50. I have the whole book available for you, PDF. mypdfbooks.com. That's books with the Z. So go get your Moorish American literature and go to MorrisHaberdasher.com. Order your Moorish American fairs. I love y'all, man, and peace.